Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Faith Formation tonight. We have a story of Jesus' baptism to share with you, along with an idea for an activity. If you look at the email that was sent out, there are some additional resources that you can access to learn more about Jesus' baptism and how you can reflect on this and how you can do some practice around baptism and your baptism story. Please take a look at that and those resources, and thank you for joining us.
This is the story of Jesus' baptism, and it's in your Sparks Bible. While Jesus was living in Galilee, his cousin, John the Baptist, was preaching out in the country of Judea. The people loved John and came to see and hear him wherever they could. Sometimes crowds of people came to see John by the Jordan River. When the crowds came, John would tell them, "Change what needs changing in your life. God's kingdom is here." The people would promise to change their lives, and then John would baptize them to show that they were a new person in God's eyes. "I baptize you on the outside with plain old water from the Jordan River, but this is nothing compared to what and who is coming," John would exclaim. "The one who is coming will baptize you with God's own Spirit. With God's Spirit, you will be changed from the inside out." While John was saying this, Jesus appeared. He asked John to baptize him, but John wasn't so sure. "What? Me baptize you? I think it should be the other way around," John said. But Jesus insisted. "Do it, John. God does amazing things in baptism." So John did what Jesus asked and baptized him. All the way under the water in the Jordan River, Jesus went. When he splashed up out of the river, Jesus saw the skies open up and he saw God's Spirit. It looked like a dove gracefully floating down to land on him. There was a voice, too. The voice said, "This is my Son. He has been chosen and marked by my love. He is the great joy of my life."
This week, we read the story of Jesus' baptism, and this is celebrated the first Sunday after the Epiphany. And it is a story that marks the new beginning of Christ's life along with his ministry. In this story, we also saw the Holy Trinity. So we saw Jesus, the Son of God. We saw the dove coming down as the Spirit of God, or the Holy Spirit. And we heard God's voice from heaven. So God himself was speaking down in this story. It's a wonderful story, and I hope you enjoyed listening to Ellie read it. Now Evan is going to show you an activity that you could make up in your own home with a variety of toys. It doesn't have to be Legos, and I hope you'll take time to look into that. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you have a good evening.
So this is the story of how Jesus was baptized by John in the river. So this is how I created it out of Legos. And this is Jesus and the Baptist John and all the people watching around the river. You don't have to use Legos. You could use any other toy or figurines that you had, like Playmobil or Barbies or anything like that. And I hope you have fun doing your rendition. You can take a picture of your creation and send it to the St. Paul's email. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night.